Hello everyone. Hey Beastie. Out in the field with the dogs. And I'm taking 4 to the show tomorrow. And I'm gonna bath 3 of them and do like a no rinse shampoo spray thing for the other one. So I filmed a little bit yesterday, but didn't film that much. I had a massive nosebleed yesterday, and I was feeling a bit rubbish, to be honest. So I just deleted the footage, in all honesty. I just didn't really pan out. Like people. Everybody's agrees with what I said about does breed determine behaviour. And there's like a comment saying a Dalmatian pointed, and I hope they don't feel I was too firm in my reply. But like occasionally some of mine will lift a leg at a squirrel or something up a tree, so they are technically pointing. But when I say pointing, I mean like the Vizslas and the GSPs and all the rest of it do. Where it's like head down, tail flat, leg up, and they just frozen pointing and they don't move. Like, whereas the Dalmatian, like mine, when they've pointed, they're still wagging their tail, they haven't put their head down. Nothing like that. So that's kind of like was my point. But there was like another study in the UK news today. Straight and pod after the birdies. Or butterflies, birds. And it was about pugs. And to be honest with you, when I read it, I was like, well, why didn't they include the other brachycephalic breeds? The French bulldogs, the British bulldogs, the Shih Tzus, the Pekingese, the Affenpinches are pretty flat face. Well, they have got a little bit more of a nose than some of the other breeds I just listed. But, if you're gonna come out with all these statistics on just pugs, why not come out with them for all brachy breeds? And like, I didn't find the statistics surprising or controversial. The only controversial bit was the vet said something along the lines of pugs can no longer be considered typical dogs. So then the press jumped on it like pugs aren't dogs or whatever. It says pugs aren't dogs, and it's like, they can't reproduce naturally. They can't whelp naturally. In nature, they would certainly not survive, because even if they manage to breed and whelp successfully, with their breathing the way that it is, with their teeth the way they are, they wouldn't have the stamina, or then eventually, if they did manage to catch something, the ability to kill it with their, like how deformed their mouth and teeth are. So it's really a tough thing, and like I see what I do with all of my dogs, and that all the brachy breeds couldn't do it. They wouldn't be able to get their breath to run like the others mine do, to go the distance mine do. They couldn't cope with the warm weather like mine do. And there's always going to be people in the comments that go, well, I got one and it does this, this and this. And I'm not disagreeing, but in general they can't. Majority of them can't. And then if you kind of think, well, I want a dog with lower energy, yeah, you can breed them to have lower energy requirements, but that doesn't mean you have to create that by making a dog that can't breathe properly. Then there was like the statistics of how many get infections on their skin folds. Well, yeah, that makes sense, because like Dalmatians, the majority of breeds don't have skin folds like the Brachy breeds do. So of course the Brachy breeds are going to get more infections in their skin folds because they've got them. These dogs don't. It really it's a really hard topic, because I don't want to turn this channel into like a really opinionated, outspoken channel. I want it to be a nice channel. I want it to be enjoy seeing dogs running around, playing, hiking, interacting with one another, interacting with humans, doing activities, and like quite a light-hearted channel. And if I really got into the weeds on this, then I feel like I may gain some followers and subscribers because they agree with me, but I'd also probably lose them. And if you've got a breed that couldn't exist in nature, should it be a breed? There's other countries that have banned the breeding on certain breeds, like pugs, French bulldogs, Cavalier, King Charles Spaniels, all the rest of it. And sorry, that was the doctor's, because I've had like 2 nosebleeds a day for the last week. They're actually getting heavier, so I'm actually giving it a run to the doctor's. So I got a doctor's appointment in a bit. So I agree with you shouldn't knowingly produce dogs that are going to have medical problems. And I do agree with that. I agree that there needs to be a change in what they look for, what we look for, what we aim for in these breeds, like the Brachy breeds. If you think of the German Shepherds, how the show breeders and whatever got them to such extreme angles, they were all crippled. And they've worked hard. Like, you look at shows now and you can see the back end coming up. You can see the top line starting to get less extreme of an angle down. So they're working on it. But the only way they can work on it is by breeding. And it's selective breeding, yes. It's breeding for certain traits, yes. It might be other traits to what you would have otherwise bred for. But it is selective breeding, and it is possible. And that's the key point, is it's possible. They've just got to do it. And banning the breeding of these dogs isn't going to solve that problem, because what they've done, they've kind of like banned people in those countries to breed the dogs. They haven't banned the import of them. So these breeders, these people who like and want those breeds, can just import them anyway. So yeah, and then I think there was some sort of stipulation clause that they could breed these dogs if they had a certain length of nose. But it would massively decimate the gene pool to completely do that. Because, like, I don't know, say there was 1,000 bulldogs in Holland, but maybe only 50 of them have the required nose length. So you're excluding the majority of the gene pool, the genetic diversity, to breed for one trait. And what's that going to do? That's going to create other problems. There's a multi-layered, it's a problematic issue, and it's not just as simple as saying don't breed them. It's not just as simple as saying outcross them. It's not so simple as to just say only breed the ones with this length of nose, because you're putting the breed into a genetic bottleneck. And it could be done gradually over time, and it could, but I don't think they've let the breed run away from them in the first place, which has just brought in the one drastic measure of not being allowed to breed them in those countries. And that's why, like, I think about hip and elbow score in the Dalmatians. Hip and elbow dysplasia isn't a big problem in Dalmatians. Majority have very good hips. You get the odd one, I'm never saying you don't, but it's the odd one that might have these issues. But by hip and elbow scoring them and checking their hip and elbows before breeding, you're not letting a problem like hip dysplasia creep in. And if it doesn't creep in, it's never going to run away from you. If you're always on top of the issue, it's not going to get away from you. And that's what's happened to these other breeds, is it's gone too extreme. The problem's run away with them, and now they're stuck. So it'll be really interesting the next few years with these breeds. And I mean, our other kennel club's going to follow suit of the other kennel. Of, you know, I think it was Norway was one and Holland was the other, but I might be making that. There's certainly at least 2 countries I know that have made these rules. So I wonder if other countries are going to follow suit. I mean, the freest country for these type of things seems to be like America. They just seemingly do what they want. And, you know, there's breeds that are banned in other countries that you can breed in America. So, yeah, America's probably going to be the only place you can get these breeds from if it keeps following the trend it's following. It's the trouble with summer, the grass is so long. You can't really see them. The question is, do I bath a dog now before the doctor's appointment, or do I bath them all after? Probably do them all after. If I do Nala in the no rinse shampoo, that's one down, and then bath 1 or 2 as soon as I get back, I'll be fine. And I can give them an extra run in the field without being too concerned over how dirty they're going to get. So anyway, yeah, just let me know what you think about this issue, and if you've got any ideas of how people could do it, how people could breed away from these issues. And yeah, anyway, see you all soon. Bye.